With just a couple days away, we're going to take a quick preview at No Rest for the Wicked, a game that I'm super excited for. And I want to share with you guys a few details that you might not know that should get you excited for the game as well. What exactly is No Rest for the Wicked? Well, if you like ARPGs, if you like Souls-like game, and if you like new and exciting games that have a lot of loot to collect and have a lot of secrecy, and in addition to that, have the ability to make your own proper build, whether you want to be a mage, a warrior, a fighter, then this is definitely a game you need to take a look at. So with that being said, let's dive in and talk about No Rest for the Wicked. So one thing I want to talk about first and foremost is when is the game coming out and who's going to actually be able to play it. The game will be releasing on April the 18th as part of Early Access on Steam. So if you want to pick it up, you're more than welcome to pick it up. I believe the game is $39.99, but if you opt into one of the options that they have within their Steam page, you probably will be able to get the game for, I believe, $29.99. I'll leave a link down below in the description with full details on how you can get a cheaper price for the game. With that being said, who could actually play the game? Of course, if you're on PC, you'll be able to get your hands on it. But don't worry, you guys, have no fear. If you're on console, you will be able to play the game. Not yet, but it will be coming to PlayStation and also on Xbox as soon as they, make sure everything is polished for us PC players to actually test out. So if you're going to be playing this on PC, I want to know in the comment section down below if you are, or if you're on console and you're excited for the game. I also would like to know. So make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. So on April 18th, guys, we're going to dive into this beautiful world. And the reason I say beautiful world is because this game is being led by one of my favorite teams that has made some beautiful aesthetic games as Moon Studio. If you ever played the games like Ori the Blind Forest or Ori, then you guys could know that one thing that we do know about the games, not only are the games are really solid, but the games are beautiful to actually play. So they have a really good trajectory when it comes to making beautiful worlds, and they did not stop in Ori, because if you look at this game, one thing that you will notice is how beautiful it is. Not only does it give you that dark, mystic vibe, but it also makes you appreciate the world. And that's one thing that has us really excited about the world, because it seems very linear, like a top-down game, but it's more than that, because the game tends to have a lot of verticality and a lot of secret passages that you're going to have to uncover. If you ever played Ori in the Blind Forest, you felt like you were going one way, but the game took you in all different sets of directions, and this is pretty much what we could expect from this game as well. In addition to that, guys, one thing I love about the game is that there is already a roadmap available, which we'll talk a little bit later in the video, on what to expect as we progress throughout the game. You're going to be able to start off the game with 5 different levels, and apart from completing those 5 different levels, you will unlock 3 more additional levels at Early Access, so which is pretty awesome. Developers did state that the game is as polished as it possibly can be for Early Access. So do expect a couple bugs, but they feel like it's as good as it could possibly be for Early Access, which has us really excited because we do know that they put a ton of really good detail when it comes to creating their games. Now, for those of you who probably want to know a little bit more backstory when it comes about the game, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that, because the game does have this dark, mystic story behind what we can expect. So it's the year 841, and King Harold is dead. Now, there's rumors that have emerged about the return of a great plague known as the Pestilence. You are Kerm, a member of an ancient sect devoted to vanquishing the plague. So basically, think of a big plague coming out, and the only one that's able to stop this plague is you. Now, you're called upon to investigate these rumors about this plague that's been swarming around here. So you board this ship, and you sail to the backwater of Isola Sacra. While you're heading over there, a rebel group known as the Risen sees the ship that you're in. You're like, bro, I'm trying to go save this plague, and I'm getting bombarded with these people coming here. So what this tends to happen is they end up damaging the boat, and pretty much leaves the boat wrecked as it collides into a complete island of rocks, as you're trying to not only maneuver yourself from dying and being taken from these creatures, but you end up washed up ashore of the island of Isla Sakura. When you wake up, you are naked and unarmed. As you find your bearings, you end up caught between a vast political struggle and a fight for survival. This leads me to the following thing, that there is character creation within this game. So you'll be able to create your character any way you want. You can make them large, big, small, beautiful, ugly, whatever you want to do, you're able to do that. But do keep in mind that depending on how you build your character is how your character is going to play out throughout the game. Now, one thing that we love about the game is a bunch of details that have gone into the RPG element into it and the way we are able to get loot. One thing they want to mention and they wanted to make extremely clear was the fact that this gear will have RNG. So if you play the game once and you open up a chest, it will contain an item. If you play the game again and you open up the chest, it will contain a different item. So it's not a game where you could say, just got to farm this chest. No, this is going to have really RNG values. Now, in addition to that, they did state that even when you go through the world and you play a certain area, if you come back a little bit later, the world will change and there might be different enemies within that world. Because remember, in the story, we're kind of fighting not only the plague, but we're fighting this struggle of a political struggle that's going on with different entities trying to take over. Now, in addition to that, the game has been pretty much handcrafted, so everything will be accessible, whether it is climbing, whether it is jumping, whatever you're doing in the game will have its own integral value in the sense that everything will be explorable. So there is a lot of secret passages that contain a lot of secret loot. And if there's one thing that we love about the games are loot, we love that. Now, one thing they wanted to stipulate and say that they really took a lot of time into was the combat system. They said that their combat system is very animated driven, where when you attack, some of the attacks are set to be planned and done deliberately. That's the only way you'll be able to overcome your opponent. Not only will your opponent or bosses or mini bosses have set moves, but you will need to time your moves to a specific way because you will have access to special moves as your character. In addition to that, the way you build your character will also depend on your movement, whether you roll, you heavy dodge, or you pretty much dash in the game. That's all going to be dependent on not only the way you time things, but on the way your character has been built. Now, one thing we also like is that not only are we able to take advantage of this, but we will also have access to different weapons and some very unique weapons. Each weapon has its own stance and can have its own affinity and can be optimized by various vendors to suit your need. In addition to that, you're able to infuse or imbue the weapon with ruins that you're able to get from the weapon you obtain. So not only is getting the weapon important, but being able to get the weapon's rune is also important as well. In addition to that, the weapons will come in different rarities. We have white, we have blue, we have purple, we have gold, and of course, the gold weapons are going to be pretty much your legendary weapons. And the great thing about these weapons is that these weapons have been specially tailored by the team, by Moon Studio, to be as good and as possible they could be to be as effective when it comes to the game. Now, one thing that I know a lot of people don't know that this game has, and that is crafting and harvesting. Yes, guys, so this will allow you guys to build your own world. So think of it, you're going to have to go collect trees, you're going to have to go collect wood, you're going to have to fish, and this is going to open up a big possibility of you being able to craft in the game. You'll be able to place down vases. You'll be able to put down flowers. You'll be able to put down a chest so you can put your weapons in there. You'll be able to move tables. You'll be able to decor an area to your liking. And this opens up the game to a whole plethora of different things that you're able to do in the game, because not only is it important to build your character the way you want it in the customization menu, it's also important to get the proper build. It's also important to get the right weapons and the right gear. But it's also super important to have the right, your right, whether it's a cabin, castle, whatever you're going to have, it's going to be fundamental that you build it the right way to be able to get the most out of it. Now, one thing that has us really excited, which I mentioned earlier, was a point system that they already have a roadmap to what we could expect. So on April 18th, we're going to have the Steam Early Access. That's going to be the first launch. The second launch is going to be the multiplayer. And they really stated this, that they wanted to make sure that before the multiplayer launch, that everything was as smooth as possible for single player, and everybody that was playing the game knew what type of game they were playing. And they want to make sure that when your friends come in and join you, whether it be PvP or PvE, that you will be able to have a very solid foundation and know what the game feels like and is like. So multiplayer is coming. And then on update number 2, they're going to be adding a new section in the world called the Breach, which we're really excited about. And then we have free updates. I'm assuming the free updates, from what I'm seeing in the image, it's going to allow us to have harvesting for what it looks like. It has like a little farm that we're going to be able to produce products here. So that has us really, really excited about the game. And I tell you guys right now, as you guys know, we love RPGs here on the channel. We love crafting games here on the channel. And overall, the team behind this is very, very solid. That has us really, really excited for what this game has to offer. If this is the first time you heard of this game, let me know in the comment section down below. And after watching the game trailers and watching, going over what the game has to offer, let us know if you guys are excited or if you guys are not in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.